Well, hey there. Welcome to Real WW Talk. I am Erin.
I'm Candice.
And I'm Rikki.
Ladies, what's the wildest thing you did this past week?
Oh my gosh. Well, not much because I'm recovering from surgery.
Oh, that's wild. That's wild.
You know, I have a little less boob, a little less boob, you know, just walking and recovering and watching Netflix, you know, and trying to pray that Isaiah doesn't jump on me. Wild times over at the Edwards house. But yeah, trying new recipes. I don't know. You all probably weigh into this a lot better than me.
I don't know. Rikki?
I don't know. Like, just in general, like, I'm working on exercising my ability to be outspoken when I need to be. So, you know, I am a team leader at my job, and sometimes that requires me to get people together. And when I say people, I'm a teacher, so at an elementary school, so women, just to stop gabbing and stop, you know, just complaining and all the things that we do so well. And I did have to have help. Or like one time when someone was like, "Everybody, shut up!" But I'm practicing, you know, extending my voice more and making myself loud and taking up space, and you know that's outside of my comfort zone. But I'm doing that more.
Rikki, I want to hear it so bad. I want to hear you say, "Now, ladies."
Right.
One, two. Like I just want to know. Like I just kind of because you're
it usually, especially with the kids, it doesn't. Sometimes it's loud. But then sometimes, like I was testing kids this week too, and it's a group full of like 8, 9-year-olds, and so they like working with me, but they get rowdy. So sometimes I yell, but I find that it's better when I'm like, "Everybody, touch your head if you can hear me, touch your nose if you get that kind of like touch your ear," and then they're like, "Oh," and it catches them off guard. So sometimes that works better than yelling, but. You know, sometimes when it's adults, you just have to yell.
Yeah. You just took me back to my childhood. Did you all have to? Well, that's what I had to do when I was in school. I had to put my hand up and the 2 fingers.
We still do that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, I was homeschooled, so it's just you get out of my sight.
It's that mother.
Father gets home. Okay, you'll deal with your father, and you're gonna thank God that you're dealing with your father and not with me right now. Okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty verbatim right there.
I think I told you a few weeks ago, Isaiah was sick and he was home with me, and I can feel your mother with the whole, let me just tell you, it's the thing when you're on the phone and they want to get all up in your face. Like, but if you're not watching us on the podcast, if you're watching us on YouTube, I'm doing the whole like sumo hands where you're trying to get their attention, like be quiet. You know,
my mom, she used to snap her fingers. I got to think about this with a phone that's attached to the wall, right? Like one of those old fashioned, like the C-shaped ones. But then we went out and bought like the 12-foot cord so she could walk in between rooms. And so we'd sit there and pluck at the cord. Or then if it was a short enough distance, we'd turn it into jump rope. She'd do that. She'd snap her fingers at us. And then she'd do the get out of here, right? While she's like, yeah, I'll pray for that.
I love it. I love it.
She would go, excuse me for a moment. And then she'd pull the phone away and she'd go, get out of here right now. Yes. Go outside.
Yes. We all have that.
I'm making my mother sound like she was a terrible person, but every mom knows. This is normal.
And Rikki, you're the mom at your job. That's basically what this is. It's just a different demographic, but you're the mother to all.
I've got a face, and when I make that face, they're like, oh. Or sometimes it's a pause. Like I'm talking, and all of a sudden I just stop mid-sentence, and then they're all like, "What? Somebody's what? Who was it? Was it me?" There's tricks.
I would love to go to a training on that. Like I think I need like reinforcements on things I can use with Isaiah that are used in the classroom effectively, like the zip it or the look. Like whatever is most effective, because I think he laughs at me. He's like, anyway, what are you gonna do? I know you're gonna give me my dinner. Like I feel like he doesn't respect me. Okay,
it's all respect. But then what I learned too, it's consequences. Never give a punishment or say something that you aren't prepared to follow up on and can follow up on, because that's like a key thing with my niece and my nephew. I'm like, oh, hold up a second here. Like, what's going to happen if you continue down this path? Try me. Yeah. They've only tried me once, and then I had to follow through with it. Yeah. But I'm not going to give them punishment that's going to hurt me so bad either. So.
Yeah. Well, Isaiah's saying it's popsicles. So I'm like, you know what? You got one more time. And the popsicles are gone. And he's like how dare you? What do you mean?
You're a good mom. My mom, she would be full of, there is no more one time. That's it. Done.
I love it.
That's how
we love everyone. We love our mothers are all great. And Rikki is an amazing teacher. Just so you know, this is all love.
It is. It's all, my mom is amazing mom.
She really
is. She's great. Okay. We did our wildest thing that happened in the week. And then, so I noticed this theme coming up that I thought maybe we could talk about today, because I've seen this popping. Well, I've seen it popping up a lot in our Facebook, the Real WW Talk Facebook community, which, side note, you are welcome to come join anytime you want. Just search Facebook on, search Real WW Talk on Facebook. But I've been seeing this even like pop up on some different social media trends. And it's been, man, I'm doing all of this work, but it's either not enough or it's not happening fast enough. And I just wanted to put this idea out there, just about finding happiness where we are, and like, what if nothing did change? But what if you were to step back and look at someone, if you're following the program, you're staying within, your calories or your points, you look at the meals. If you were to take yourself out of it and go, okay, well, look, this person is eating all of these fresh fruits and vegetables. They're drinking all of this water. They're not binging at night. Would you go, that person must feel happy about what they're doing? Or would you go, no, they're about to give up? And then you all of a sudden peel it back. And you're like, wow, that's my food diary that we're talking about. Why do I feel like giving up when somebody else is going, they're doing everything right? And man, I wish I was like them.
Such a loaded question, and such a great question, because I've actually found myself in the past few months thinking about this, because, as you know, I'm going through treatment for a second breast cancer journey. And my whys have changed, like it always is. So I feel like when we put so much focus and emphasis, when our why is the weight, I can understand maybe the frustration with like, what am I drinking all this water for? Why am I exercising? Because the win is supposed to be the weight loss. I have had a shift in terms of what my wins are that allows me to feel more content, even if the scale is not cooperating. Also being in a menopausal state where just that's slowed down in terms of I could be doing everything and the scale is like, no. But blood work coming back, really with really great numbers, and sleeping well. Those are the types of things that I've been focused on in terms of feeling good. It's hard still because we've been so programmed by Weight Watchers, by the culture. Our group is Real WW, but WW means Weight Watchers, not Sleep Watchers, not Numbers Watchers. It's Weight Watchers, right? And I think that it's hard to say, if nothing changed, I still feel healthier and I'm okay with that. Because we actually talked about this, I want to say, even many years ago, however many we've done this for, about if we had stayed the same weight for the rest of the journey, would we be okay? But our body, even if our body changed, what if we actually lost inches, but the weight never changed?
Yeah, the number on the scale never budged.
Never changed.
Right.
But even if your body composition changed, would you be okay? And I think we had said at that time we still would have trouble. Like it would be hard because we've just been so programmed to not find the wins in the non-scale victories. Because that's just that's the world that we're in.
Right. Because you pay based on the weight that you lose. So that's the end goal.
And you celebrate weight milestones. You celebrate being in a new weight decade, century. Like all those things are really applauded, and you get tokens to celebrate them. So we're told to do that. So it's really hard to say like, oh, I'm not going to focus on that anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, what the first thing you do when you go to the doctor's office, I mean, yeah, sometimes they'll do your blood pressure first, but a lot of times right after that, you're getting on the scale. So even the metrics that the doctor is using starts with that. But I think it is important to shift the focus. It's just hard to know how to.
Mm-hmm. I think, Candice, you said something really important of like, what's the end?
Yeah.
What's the end result? And if weight is the end result, then we'll never be happy until we get to the other side. But if our health is the end result, well, then that can take on lots of different, layers and flavors.
Yeah.
What do you guys see as your end result right now?
I really feel mine is, it's like I said, the end result for me is healthy insides. It's the only way I know how to say it. Like healthy insides, because I've had enough and seen enough in this world that God decided I was going to join, and where people have been at the weight that I felt was ideal and are not having that internal health, and they're not happy. The weight wasn't the thing. So because I've been able to see that, it's shifting for me slowly, because I still am just like everybody else, where I've been trained for so long to care about the number primarily. But my end goal is for my internal health to be reflective in the things that the doctors, and I am monitoring, like I said, my blood work and how I'm feeling, that I'm feeling the energy, I'm feeling the vitality, I'm feeling the health. And that's because I've had my health threatened so much, that's why that's changed it for me. And I think that people have said that sometimes blessed are those who have had health challenges, because you appreciate it a little bit more than those who think they have all this time to care about it. And they think it really is just about getting down to a size, where you're like, you can get down to the size and still just not be healthy. And I promise you that it doesn't make you, So, I mean, we have people in our group. I think I saw like Susan. I know Susan posts in our group a lot, and she's recently talked about how she's, changed, maybe not eating red meat because she had numbers that may have reflected needing to make changes along the way. So I think they can change as you go. But for me, to answer your question, for me personally, it's the internal health. That's my ultimate goal. And that's because that's been threatened for me so much.
Yeah. Rikki, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would, my initial thing would be to say it is the health. And I do think deep down it is. But having said that, I don't think if for me, that initial question we were asking, like if I looked exactly the same, but had the health numbers, had even the other benefits that come along with being healthy, as far as like Candice, you're talking about the like ability to move freely and and not be winded, that kind of thing. I mean, that would be great, but there's so many things I think I'm still conditioned physically to want, like the number, not just the number on the scale, but like the clothing that comes along with like that. Like, so I've never been a size 2. Now that I'm almost 40, do I want to be a size 2? No, I don't. But there are certain stores that I still haven't been able to shop in, and I kind of more and like, oh well, it's probably too, I'm a little older to shop in that store or that store, so I'm shopping in stores that I still love. But having the ease and the freedom to walk into a store and say like, that size on the rack fits me, is something that I haven't experienced in a long time, and I look forward to experiencing. So I would say the health is the most important thing, but with the caveat of like, I know that like I don't think I would personally be happy with the health and not also the weight loss.
Can I ask you something about that? Because the only thing I would not challenge, but I'm interested. What if the weight didn't? Because to me, weight and inches are two different things. So if it were to be, because a lot of people, with Weight Watchers, we're focused on the number, but if you were to find that your body actually changed, like the inches were going down, and you could fit into
Your
those
body
clothes.
composition.
Your body composition shifted,
Yeah.
but the weight didn't change. Do you feel would that still be your response?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't. I think I would find a way to get over the number at that point.
She's like, I would find a way.
Yeah, because it's like, first of all, that's not something that's like tattooed to my forehead. Nobody needs to know that. And I think there has been a lot more education lately about like, look at these different bodies. Guess what? They're all 150 pounds, but you would never guess that this 5'2" person and this 6'2" person weigh the same thing. So I think I at that point, no, I don't think I would care if my body was truly fit and my inches were different, and I had, again, the stamina to run after children and do all of those things that I'd wish I could do a little bit better now.
And that's what I think is the key, because that's what I saw in our Facebook group, is that again, we have some people who are daily weighers, and like they're so triggered by it's the number, but it's like what you're asking, Erin, and I want you to answer is what number? Like what number is the one you're gauging? It's not I'm finding for most people, it's not their inches. It's not, and that's really the thing that shows the difference in body composition.
And sometimes it's the thought too, that if I get to this magical number, everything's going to be great. And the reality is you take you with you wherever you go, no matter what size. Yeah. So if you're struggling with you, at 320 pounds, you're still going to struggle with you at 150 pounds. You don't change enough at 150 pounds, who you are on the inside. It'll be nice. It could be a nice little ride for a while. Like you start to, it does give you more confidence. It can give you more freedom. But when the confidence wears off, when the freedom wears off, maintenance sets in. What's going to be the thing that sustains it at that point, or you don't get asked out like you thought you would at 150 pounds, right? Like all of those things. The weight is not the magic. You are the magic. And I think
what's your answer?
Well, for me, to be honest, I think I'm a little bit of a hybrid right now, because I'm just not happy with my weight. I've been working I've been working with my doctor on some particular goals that have been not as much about the weight, but around the different fruits and vegetables and, things that I eat. I don't know if you guys, well, Candice, I don't think you were around for this. Rikki, you were. When I went through that really, really bad depression, probably coming up on about 8 or 9 years ago, we may have talked about that. I had reminded myself, because I had swung into the hyperthyroid side, and the hyperthyroid side was making me have panic attacks, anxiety attacks. I was just messed up in my head. I mean, it was not a good space. And I was like that for about 1.5 years. I mean, I couldn't walk, because every time that I would walk, just that act of breathing in air more quickly would trigger something in my adrenaline, and then would trigger a panic attack. Going to church and singing church, just that intake of breath, it's the weirdest thing. But I promised myself I would any day take being 10 pounds heavier and in my right mind than 10 pounds lighter and feeling like this. And so I am I'm actually now 17 pounds heavier than what I was. And I just don't like it. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like all of those things. But if I step back, I have my full mind. So I'm going to be grateful for that. And if I look at it on paper, I'm going out for walks every day. I wasn't able to do that when I was at my skinniest. That's what I want. I wanted to go out and go for a walk. I can go do that now. I took a 3-mile walk yesterday. It was wonderful. I like the food that I'm eating now. I'm eating really good, healthy foods. I'm not out of control. I'm not binging at night. So I'm looking for contentment. I'm trying to be grateful for that right now and feel content with what I have. but I wouldn't mind being down those 17
Sure.
pounds and content.
But I think that, we are all in some ways reform control freaks. I'm
Sure.
going to
Yeah.
labeling you all too, right? Just take it. But, I think that I focused a lot of times in different journeys on trying to control the number on the scale, and sometimes in ways that were unhealthy,
Yeah.
and, to
Yeah.
say like, I can see that number. That's something that I can blood work. Maybe you're not, unless you're getting your blood drawn like every week, you can't, that's not something that you can see to tangibly say, I'm doing better. Same thing with inches. It takes time. When you're talking about stamina with walking, that takes time, to see, or even how the foods that we eat change how we feel. It takes time. And I think that that's something that we have to acknowledge, even when we're looking to change what it is that we're proud of, is, are we willing to discipline ourselves to wait for the reward, because for me, when I saw the number when I saw my labs recently, they were amazing. And I've never had that feeling. Like it felt better than any weigh-in to see normal. When you've seen the opposite and you're like, oh, I don't like those numbers. I really like these numbers. It's worth it to me. Yes, I'm not where I want to be with my weight, but I'm darn proud of those numbers. And I know that it's due to me drinking my water and getting on the Peloton and eating. I ate a cup of broccoli today just because I needed to get in a vegetable. Not because I'm not saying that to brag, but I'm saying that because my goal is I need to have more fiber. I need to have more of this. And that's what my nutritionist and the other people say that I need to do to keep those numbers where they are. So I challenge myself and all of us. Like, I saw how your face lit up when you said 3 miles. Like, it was just naturally like, I walked 3 miles and I felt, and Rikki, like when you talk about the 30 pounds, really, when you're talking about things, my pants are falling off. Like, it's the inches, it's the things, that's what's making us proud. Yeah. I wish for all of us that we could have that and the number, but sometimes the number is the most finicky of all of the, because there's so many things that play into it.
Yeah. Well, and we have to remember too that the number is a result of all of these other things. And so the weight will come along the more that we spend time in the discipline of these things. The weight will come along with it. Drinking and drinking water every day, right? Trying to get however many your ounces in. But that's a part of it. It helps you feel fuller. It's great for your brain health. Your brain and your body are made up of water. It needs that. That helps. Drinking water helps with depression. Who would have thought? Right? Like that's what's amazing to me. And then your skin starts looking really good. It's all of these little underlying trickle down things that happen. Eating more of the fresh fruits and vegetables. Now it's nature's medicine. You're getting the antioxidants in. Would you say last week, Candice, those little, the blueberries, the wild blueberries, your favorite cancer treatment right now?
Yeah, seriously. But I think that we also have to, I've been very vulnerable here in this podcast space, or sharing with you all about time where I got to the lowest that I had been in my adult life. And it was not healthy. It was not. I'm talking saunas to try to sweat stuff out before weigh-in so I can see numbers. I'm talking hyper obsession with the number, where it got dangerous. And I was not not only was I not healthy, people were celebrating because of the culture we're in, right? Oh, look, my gosh, you did it. And I was oversharing.
And we'd be like, how did Candice lose 5 pounds this week? That's amazing.
Oversharing, because that's what we do when we're proud of our weight loss, right? You can always tell when someone's proud of their weight loss. They're just like, oh, I don't know. It's just a little thing I did, right? And when we're not, we're like, shut it. But I was so proud because the thing that other people cared about, I was having success with. But I was the unhealthiest I'd ever been, mentally, and probably truly physically. Like, it was bad. And the doctor was like, this is a problem. Like, you're going to need to talk. Like, that's when I got into therapy. Like, she was like, this is an eating disorder. Like, you're almost there. Right. And I had to really be careful, and to say, like, I have to rethink this. And it's taken all this time to do it. And I'm with the same therapist that saw me at the beginning of that journey. And she's shown how much I've grown. Like she said, like, I see how you're changing, but it took the cancer, right?
Yeah.
I hate to
Yeah.
say it, but it took some of these challenges for me to say, that's not it. That's not it. You know, like it is the weight, we want that. But I promise you, if you're focused on trying to control that number, it can go downhill real quick. You know, and like you said, if you focus on all those other practices that you're doing, the weight at some point is going to do what it has to do, because it's just going to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Why doesn't it feel satisfactory to be able to look at our things and see us eating, you know, eating the really good foods and doing the exercising? Or like, why don't we always feel satisfied with that or feel good about that?
I mean, I think a lot of times we're trained to link that behavior to weight loss. Like, you know, it's a diet culture thing. So it's like, oh, look at my tracker. I ate all my veggies today. Let me step on the scale right now. You know, there's memes and jokes about like, it's like, I just ate this. Let me step on the scale now after eating a salad. I lost 10 pounds, right? Or, you know, like I just got on the elliptical for 30 minutes. Let me step on the scale. Like we want that instant gratification. And I think sometimes we'd still tie that to our behavior related to the foods we choose, instead of like truly saying, I'm eating this kale because I enjoy it. It's like, you know, that's it. Sometimes when you grow up, especially like I have where with vegetables not necessarily being cooked in the way I like them, I've had to unlearn that and like relearn that there are some that I do like, and I'm not eating them because like Candice, you had a cup of vegetables because you were focused on the fiber. You didn't say I had a cup of vegetables because I wanted to step on the scale and be down, you know, like, you know, 5 pounds this week. So like there's a purpose to it, and it can be enjoyable to eat those things, but it's not necessarily that I'm doing it because there's an action I'm expecting afterwards.
And it's so hard because we're having to tune out all this noise, like I said, in this culture that is so weight focused. So when they're talking about, look at why you should do this plan, I lost this much, like we are bombarded with that on social media and everywhere, you know, like the satisfaction is in the number. And they say health, but it just seems like it's an asterisk. Like, well, yeah, the way, like you said, Rikki, the way that you get to this amazing weight loss is you eat the chia seeds, not because the chia seeds have fiber, but because that's going to help you lose 5 pounds this week.
Right.
And so then we're like, okay, well, let me do the plan that's going to help me to get that 5 pound weight loss. And we're not even talking about the health benefit of the thing, you know?
Right.
So I think that's hard to tune out. I know for me, because I can be very impressionable. I try not to be, but unless I have to like limit my social media sometimes to tame down the noise of people who are just talking about it only from a weight perspective.
Yeah. And I think that's probably the key. You know, if you look at it through one lens, it's hard work without payoff.
Right.
And then if you look at it through a different lens is, wow, look at the way I'm setting my body up for success and my health up for success.
Yeah.
I think somebody shared within the group a little bit ago, I was going to see if I can pull it up. I can't pull it up, but it was like, I'm not eating for my weight. I'm eating for when I'm 80 and I'm trying to get up off the ground and I'm bending over in the garden, like to water plants. Like that's what I'm focusing on.
And it's the trigger I have, like I'm eating so that there's guilt sometimes when you have health challenges, and it's like, I don't want to be the cause of the things. And I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, I understand that things can happen randomly and it's never anybody's fault. I know, but you feel like it is. So, but it's like, if I am doing all that I can to set my body up for success, it just makes me feel better. You know, so that is a motivator for me, that before I go in for labs or before I go in for a breast MRI and all that stuff, I want to be able to say I did all that I could to keep myself in a healthy state. So that when the doctors look, they go, no, you absolutely are doing it. You're killing it, versus, if you adjust, I know.
Well, but we know that there are some things like type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes only only exists because
Right.
for weight management, for weight management or, overconsumption of
Right.
things and certain blood pressure, certain cholesterol, cholesterol is my issue right now, but
Right.
I'm at a higher risk for that being out of control because of my hypothyroidism. So I've now hit the natural part of my hypothyroidism where cholesterol is the problem and that the scale is unfairly tipped. But just because the scale is unfairly tipped doesn't mean I don't try to do my best to tip it back in the other direction.
So then that helps you to not make it only about the weight because you can't afford to. Okay. If you all want to hear this joke, so we're going to go ahead and
it's a stink bug. I'm okay. Okay.
So let's tell everybody why this is funny, because we were finishing taping the podcast. Oh my gosh. Like
2 weeks ago, something like that a week
ago. We made it all the way to the end, and Aaron, we're just laughing. Ha ha ha. And Rikki, do you want to tell them what happened?
I felt a pinch on my foot, and I'm like, that's weird. And the funny thing about that was that Aaron, you had been talking about how there was a wasp in between your window and your blinds. So
and we were like, Aaron, be careful. Ha ha, Aaron.
And I'm like thinking, every now and then you get a little pinch, or, I don't know, like thinking there's something random. I look down, I'm like, oh no, there's a wasp in my house, and it's right down next to my foot. Because it's a wasp, it didn't die. So I had to go, once I calmed myself down, kill it.
We are on the other side. Like, who could get to her quickest? Who could drive over there quickest to figure out what's going on?
I'm not used to stink bugs flying, guys. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
This is our girly girl. And don't worry, I'm the same way though.
This is our poor part.
This is Rikki, you and me both. It's just not here with me. Don't worry. We would all get Aaron to come over, and Aaron be like, my word, come on. Boom. Right?
But I mean, they don't usually fly. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Please don't.
They're like little armored tanks. They
are.
I hate
You're not supposed to crush them because they bring the other ones and right.
Is that true?
I don't know. Oh, okay.
Grab that sucker, squash it.
Okay, it's on my computer right now, guys. Okay.
You
know what? You keep talking and pretend like I am okay.
Please come to the YouTube. Please.
We're done. We're calling. Listen. All we're trying to say here is let's just
love your body so that you can love some stink bugs.
That's right. Take a look at the work that you're doing. Are you happy with the work that you're doing with yourself? And if you aren't happy with the work you're doing, then start doing the work that makes you happy. And don't attach it to the scale. That's it. No. We're leaving. Rikki's losing her mind.
I love you. I love it.
Prepared.
What is that like?
This is all natural, by the way.
That's not going to kill it.
I thought it was Windex.
I thought so too. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.